Welcome to the 365 Performance Show with your host, Scott Dillon.
Of course you want to quit. How you going, everybody? So today I wanted to talk to you about quitting when you want to give up on things, when it all just becomes a bit too much for you to handle. So, I think all of us, when we have like a really bad time, and I want you to imagine, there's all these things in the back of your head that you really want to do it. You can probably look back over the years of your life. There's probably been a few moments where things really went pear-shaped and you just decided to double down and commit onto something. And you look back at it and you're like, I'm really so grateful that I chose to do that. And a lot of times, I know myself personally, I looked back at those moments and I used to tell myself how courageous I was for doing it back then. I had a bunch of stuff going on in my life when I was in my 20s. I wasn't in a really good place at all, and I decided to sell everything that I have, travel the world, climb some mountains, and that's where I had my incident where I nearly died. It changed my life. And then I've been, I'm in my 30s now, and I'm looking back at those moments, and I've been telling myself for all these years how courageous I was to sell everything I have and just go on to an adventure. But only recently I've been thinking about all these moments in the past when I made those decisions. And I don't know if courage is the right word. Because when you're in a really bad place, you feel like things can't get much worse than they are now. Like, I was addicted to drugs. All the people that I hung around, they weren't very supportive. I was working all the time. I was making good money, but it was only because I was working 14 to 16 hours a day. I wasn't happy. So for me back then, in that moment in my 20s, for me to sell everything, it didn't really bother me that much, because to be honest, I didn't really care what happened. Things couldn't have been worse than they were in that moment. But here's the challenge. When we are in a good place, and good is, I think, the swear word of this century. You ask everyone every day, hey, how are you? Everyone says they're good. Good, I'm good, I'm good. But we know, if we're being honest with ourselves, when we tell everyone that we're good, a lot of times we aren't. We're not happy. Maybe, we're not completely hating life, but we're not completely fulfilled, on fire, and passionate. So, I want you to think right now where you're at. It's 2018. You probably set some goals and targets for this year. And I would like to hope that you're not necessarily in a really bad place. You're kind of cruising along. You got some good things happening, some things that aren't so bad. But at the end of the day, when it comes to your training, your health, you're not going to be dying anytime soon. When you look at yourself in the mirror, maybe, you might not be looking like a Victoria's Secret model, but at the end of the day, you've got a little bit of confidence and you're like, you know what, I'm doing a bit of training, I'm feeling pretty good in myself. But here's the challenge I really feel, and I've come to recognize in my own self. When we're kind of content, we're happy, but we're still wanting to get to that next level and chase something, when things around us become a little bit overwhelming, maybe work's getting a bit crazy, maybe, I don't know, you're wearing your high heels and you roll your ankle when you're walking up the stairs and you're telling yourself that you can't train for the next week, or maybe you feel like you've been working on your nutrition really hard for the past week and then you step on the scales and for some reason you're only using that as the main judge for your body composition and you don't like the number it says. Or maybe someone around you says something that upsets you and just triggers you. It's really easy for us in those moments to just tell ourselves, oh, what's the bloody point? Why bother? But here's the thing. I think inherently most of us, especially people that listen to podcasts and do all that sort of business, we inherently want to get better and grow, expand, and be better people, but only through having those desires organically, and they're not coming from a place of pain and suffering, just you know what, I'm feeling pretty good now, but I want to be better. When we're coming from that place, we're always beginning to reach and stretch outside of our comfort zone. But it's a lot harder to do that when there's no real pain associated with it. And this is what I've begun to recognize in my life. When I'm really suffering and things are terrible, it's really easy for me to double down and commit and be like, yeah, you know what, stuff that, I'm going all in with this, nothing worse can happen than where I'm at now. It's really easy to make those choices. But what do you do when things are pretty good, you're pretty happy with your life, but you're still feeling this internal desire to accomplish more, be more, serve more people, or make a bigger impact? Maybe it's just with yourself, or maybe it's with your community or relationships, or just doubling down and really going to do something with your health and fitness that you've never accomplished before. When you're wanting to do that and put it out there, and it's coming from a place when things are good, it's a lot harder to have the courage to double down on yourself and commit to it. So this message is for all those people that are kind of good at the moment. Your training might be going okay, but you've set this big lofty goal that you want to accomplish, and you're facing this resistance. And things around you right now aren't the most supporting for whatever it is that you're trying to achieve to actually eventuate and happen. And if you're feeling like you want to quit, if you're feeling like you want to stop, I want to just message you and hope you hear this and make you recognize that of course you want to do that. Of course you want to do that. But here's the thing. It's completely normal, and all it is the opportunity for you to push through it and grow. Because a lot of times we tell ourselves that we want this thing. We want to run the marathon, we want to lose 20 kilos, or we want to do this hike to base camp, or whatever. And a lot of times we get fixated on achieving a thing, and goals and targets are super important, and they're really amazing because it makes us more fulfilled when we hit them. But at the end of the day, the growth and all those experiences that come from hitting the target, it isn't from the day when we actually hit it. It's the leading up to it. It's the overcoming of the resistance. It's the pushing through when we're feeling like maybe you are today, like, I just want to stop, nothing's working, it's not worthwhile. It's in those moments that we really grow. And I really believe in my heart of hearts that when those resistance pieces pop up, they pop up for everybody. It's like rain, it's raining everywhere, and it's up to the individuals if they want to push through it or give up. And all it is there is testing how bad you really want it. So, today I just want you to think about where in your life are you possibly making a big shift, or you're feeling like you want to make a big shift. Things are kind of good at the moment, but you're really wanting to take it to the next level. And I just want you to try and find the courage to make that happen. And recognize that if maybe you're wanting to stop or quit right now, it's completely okay. It's to be expected, but you're stronger than that, and you can still push through and make it happen. And only through making those decisions on days like this that you really will get what you're truly after. So what's the one thing you can do today to get one step closer to that in your life, no matter what it is you want to do? I hope you have a great day, and if we can help you with anything, please reach out to us at 365performance.com.au.